That's for sure. Really, everybody that played in the game made a significant contribution, which was really important. And then, the 4 guys that didn't play were up and really into the game, which is really important too. It's just any extra energy that we can generate really helps us. This is, one of the best all-around games I've ever seen Caris LeVert play. He was great on offense. He took on a real tough matchup against Beal, and I just thought he played a spectacular game. Domas was a force on the inside, with 30 and 10. Malcolm made big plays. The guys off of our bench played really an important part. We've got to have depth, to win games in this league right now. And Wanamaker did a great job. Keelan was good. Lamb gave us some juice when we needed it. And Brissett, it was hard to get him out of the game. He was so active and doing so many good things. So really happy for the guys. And, we just got to try to build some momentum now. We got New York coming in here on Wednesday.
You set the tone early, allowing just 18 points in that first quarter. Where did you notice the most improvement on the defensive end early in games?
Yeah, we had a much stronger physical presence tonight. There was a collective will that we played with early in the game that we had not displayed in the last couple of games, and so much of NBA basketball is you finish kind of how you start, and that's why it's really as much a first quarter league as it is a fourth quarter league. So that was good, and I just think our guys, just really knew that this was about, how hard we could fight. Because there are many parts of an NBA game that aren't that pretty, where there's just physical stuff going on, et cetera, et cetera.
They took just 15 three-pointers tonight. That's the fewest a team has taken in the league all season. How much credit do you give your own defense in maybe running them off the line? And that's obviously tough to win when you take that few.
Yeah, I don't know how many they shoot on average. They shot 46%, so it's, we could have done a better job there. But making teams shoot contested 2-point shots is always going to be a goal of our defense. The challenge tonight was Beal hitting those step backs where he creates separation and rhythm, and he's just a great player. But it was, he had to work hard to get those shots. So, it's really good that we made him work. And, as far as our 3-point shooting, we just got to keep stepping in aggressively. And we got to, we've told our guys to be freed up. And, particularly the ones that are generated inside out, those are really important shots. Those are high value shots in this league. Just step into those babies.
You mentioned Oshae and his effort in this game. What kind of led to you going back to him into your rotation recently, beyond guys being out and injuries, and how impressed have you been with his play this last week or so?
Yeah, he's been really well, first of all, he's really kept himself ready. And a big part of being a professional in the NBA is, when you're a role player and a depth player, is that, you go through some stretches where you may not play much at all. I certainly know from experience in my career, and he always comes in. He's always doing work to keep his wind up, to keep his body strong, to keep his touch. And the first 2 threes he hit in the first quarter, I think, really big shots, in the scope of the game. It got us off, to a bit of a cushion, and his activity. Offensive rebounding, and he had 1 or 2 putbacks. Those were huge plays, in the second half. So I'm happy for him. What led to it, it just kind of was feeling like it was time, and he's responded well.
Was there a concerted effort to get Domas more shots? I know he finished last game with 8 shots, and he had 8 shots at halftime today, and so obviously things worked out pretty well for him.
Well, when we play with when we play with good pace, it feels like the shot dispersion is pretty good for our team. It feels like everybody gets involved. When we dribble a bit too much and the ball's not hopping, and guys aren't touching it as frequently, then we get bogged down. And the paint is something that a lot of teams really make a concerted effort to take away. You saw it tonight, even on some of those plays tonight with Domas. There's 3 guys around him, and so a lot of teams are really committing to making a huge crowd in there and making it real difficult for them. But the game was able to breathe tonight, and part of it was that we got stops and got into transition early. That always helps. Good shots and offensive rebounds off of movement creates pockets for offensive rebounds. That was another reason he got, some more quality looks. And, I'll have to look at the film to give you, precise answers. But there were only 2 or 3 times where we actually called a play to throw it into him. It really seems like he gets his best activity offensively off of free-flowing movement where we create good situations for him and the team. And that can be said for really most players that we have. So he's a strong-willed guy, and he was not going to be denied tonight, when he got on the inside. There's a lot of contact on a lot of those plays, and, it led to some frustration at one point. But overall, he played a massive game on the inside.
Rick, with Oshae, is the biggest thing you're wanting from him generally just positive impact plays, especially with TJ being sidelined? He's kind of an activity guy, a juice guy.
Activity, juice, he's a guy you don't need to run plays for. He's going to find shots within the system, and he's going to find good shots within the system. And his crashing is an important part of what he does for our team. He and Torrey Craig play similar games. There are some subtle differences. Their personalities are a little bit different, stuff like that. They're both great guys and great competitors, and we just need the activity, and steps into open shots and knocks them in. That's huge for us.
Chris has obviously shown that he's a pretty good shot maker, shot taker. But he had 4 steals tonight, 2 of them from
a good shot taker. You just called him.
Well, at times, I'll give him some grace. But anyways, he had 4 steals tonight, a couple for breakaway layups. Those were good shots. What do you think about his activity on the defensive end?
It was good, and again, I thought everybody was into the game defensively at the start. The thing that was happening in the first half defensively was that we were in really good position. We had a physical presence, and we put ourselves in a position to make a strong play on the ball a lot of times. Our steals were not coming off of willy-nilly gambles. They were coming off of solid team defense within the system, and that's how we're going to play our best defensively, and it's how any NBA team's going to play their best defensively. So we gotta continue with more of the same. Our practice yesterday, was helpful to us for today's game. But building momentum in this league is difficult. Especially in the East, there's a lot of parity and a lot of teams that play, that play aggressive and play strong and play angry. And we're going to need to consistently be one of those teams.
Oshae, as you found your way back into the rotation here lately, a solid win overall as a team tonight. How fulfilling is a night like this for you?
It's amazing. It's amazing. The hard work that I've been putting in is really showing off, but, I've been watching and seeing where I could fit in with the guys. And, I know them from last year playing with them and starting all those games and playing all those minutes. I know, where they like to be and how they like to play. But just being there, cheering them on and doing everything I can on the sideline has, helped me stay engaged and stay involved in the game.
How difficult has the last week and a half been as a team? And from just an emotional perspective, how important is a night like tonight where you have a convincing win?
It's tough. Like, even locker room, Malcolm was like, those 4 losing games felt like 10. You know, we didn't know last time we won it, and that's facts. You know, I don't really remember the last time we won. It feels like it was so long. But I'm happy that we were able to pull together and play together and play the way we were supposed to. We just got to keep it going. We got New York on Wednesday, so we just got to keep that going.
Shay, 3 for 3 on threes tonight. I think the last one after you hit one, you like high-fived the fan or something. So where does that exuberance, that joy come from when you're just out there looking like you're having fun?
You know, that stuff gets me going, you know, seeing the fans into it. I love how they, you know, interact with us. So that's just stuff that I do. That's just the way that I am. I like to be loud and, you know, show different things when I'm playing. Doesn't only get me going, but it gets the whole team going. Once we have fun. You know, we just don't want to be out there just going through the motions. You know, this is a game. We want to have fun. We want to be ourselves. So that's how I am. So I'm just keep doing that.
And then Rick talked about how role players in the NBA have to stay ready, and a lot of you guys have said that. But for someone who isn't experiencing that, how difficult is it, you know, when you love the game, you want to play, you believe you're good enough to play, and you're not playing every night, to just, again, stay ready?
You know, it's something that coaches talked to me about before the season even started. You know, he told me from the jump there's going to be games where you get a couple minutes, games where you don't play, games where you play a lot. But, you know, the person that you are, I just need you to be ready because you could go in there and play any position. So I kind of had that in the back of my head. Obviously, it's tough. You know, just like you said, I believe I could be out there, and I know I could be out there. But my job on the team is to help any way I can, whether it's on the bench cheering the guys on, you know, getting waters, high fives, doing anything, or being out there rebounding, scoring, defending, and just be myself.
Rick's talked a lot about you coming in on off days, including Thanksgiving with Keelan to get some work in. How much has that kind of helped you this season and helped you keep some confidence when you do get a night like tonight where you play a lot more?
Yeah, it's helped a lot. It's helped a lot. Shout out to, you know, Malcolm. You know, we've had a long conversation before, and, you know, he told me when he was in this position in his rookie year or second year, the thing that helped him the most was staying in the gym. And, you know, I strongly believe that just staying confident in my jump shot and, you know, the ball handling and different stuff, just staying focused on basketball has really helped me, you know, to where I could go out there and be confident and know that I can make shots and know that I can be myself. So just that's something I'm gonna continue to do. I feel better when I get in the gym and I go home and I'm able to rest on an off day or something. But you know, being in the gym is something that is gonna help anyone, and it's really helped me.
Oshae, TJ, and Justin have brought so much life and energy from the second unit over the past few years. With them out, is energy a void that you try and fill coming off the bench?
Yeah, I mean, whether they're here or whether they're not here, that's how I play. That's who I am. Coming in and being loud and talking and moving around, interacting with the fans, that's something that I like to do. But, you know, when those two are here, it's obviously, you know, better because we have our full roster and those guys bring so much to the team. But that's who I am. I'm just going to continue to be that.
Do you feel like, probably not entirely back, but team found a joy again a little bit after
For sure.
going
For
away
sure.
for 10 days?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really tough, long practice yesterday, and it was really more about mental focus and, you know, getting back to who we know we could be. And we were able to carry that. You know, if you look at the way that Caris was guarding defensively and playing offensively, that's who he is, and that's who we need to be as a team all around. It doesn't just start with him or Domas or Miles protecting the rim. It's really everyone coming off the bench or a guy starting.
What do you feel like was the biggest thing that translated from yesterday's practice?
Just the toughness, man. You could see, you know, we're up into guys and, you know, trying to be physical. You know, Bradley Beal's a great player, but I feel like we were able to make him make some tough shots. You know, getting into him and contesting those shots and just being there on the catch instead of just letting him do whatever he wanted. You know, he's still able to get his buckets, but, you know, I feel like we did a good job of just doing team defense.
Well, Shay, kind of a different question. When you walk in with shades like that into the building, are you bound to have a good game tonight like that?
Man, I don't know. I think it's just a look good, feel good, play good thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Domas, the topic the last couple of press conferences after the game had been first quarters and force and defensive intensity, and it seemed like you guys had an abundance of that tonight. You hold them to 18 points in the first quarter. What stood out to you about the defensive effort early on?
I think from the jump we started out aggressive, like we talked about in practice. We wanted to come out with that high energy, and I feel like we stuck to that throughout the game.
What led to your significant impact on the night? You are such a consistent player, but on a night like tonight, really the focal point in what the Pacers were doing offensively.
I just kept doing my job, you know, all year doing this my role, you know, and my teammates found me today, you know, and I was there to finish.
You said your teammates found you, and Rick said that they didn't call a ton of plays for you tonight, but the ball just found you naturally. How much can you kind of encourage your teammates to give you the ball when you feel like you have a good matchup, or how much is your teammates just finding you in the right spots helpful to you on a night like tonight?
It was something we emphasized yesterday in practice, looking more at our bigs for the pocket pass and swing, drop it in, and today we did that, and hopefully we carry on doing it.
What did you think of Oshae's performance off the bench and the energy he brought, not only just making shots, but just, again, bringing energy?
He's been big, last year when we picked him up, he came here and brought a lot of energy, so we know he's always ready, and he's getting a chance now to prove it, and he's just taking advantage of it, and it's awesome.
Anyone else? Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Caris, it was a really consistent effort tonight. You guys led by double digits for nearly the entirety of the game. What to you led to such consistency on both ends of the floor?
I think we came out tonight defensively and tried to set the tone, and I think we continued that for a full 48 minutes. Guys coming off the bench did the same thing, and it was a tough effort tonight. Washington didn't give up, but I feel like we had a consistent effort on the defensive end tonight.
You just talked about defense, and Rick earlier said that he thought it was your most complete game of the season, also given your defensive effort. Was anything particularly inspiring for you on defense in this game, particular matchup, or was it just a great performance for you?
I looked at the stat sheet. Brad Bill had like 35, 12 for 18. So, it felt like I was playing good defense. But guys like that are, obviously tough to stop. But I love those matchups. I love playing against the top guys. And I look forward to those matchups. So it's always fun for me.
Caris, how much of what Oshae's doing is just the activity level, the diving, the hustle plays that, especially with TJ being sidelined, that you're lacking?
It's tough. I think for anyone who doesn't really play the game, who's just a fan of the game, doesn't really understand how hard it is to not really play for a couple games, and then kind of just get thrown into the fire and play as well as he has the past couple of games. It's amazing, and it just speaks to his work ethic and his ability to just stay ready. I don't know if we get that win tonight without Shea and his efforts coming off the bench. So he was huge for us tonight.
Caris, how contagious is the joy Oshae plays with?
It's super contagious. Like I said, to stay engaged like that when you're not playing and you don't know when you're gonna go in the game. Your minutes are kind of inconsistent. It just shows the type of person he is off the floor as well. So, it's easy to feed off of that.